Welcome back to another fantastic property tour, Rankin family. Today, we are located in Boerne, Texas, looking at another gorgeous luxury home, and this time we have a model home by McNair Custom Homes. Now, starting on the exterior, we do have the stucco along with the Mediterranean roof. Now, you will notice the Spanish style inside and out, and I think you may appreciate that. Now, this home is situated on an acre, and it is in a gated community. And then what's neat about the home is something that you don't see every day is the decorative wrought iron crosses on the exterior. So let me know your thoughts on that feature. Now, you will notice the herringbone pattern driveway. You see it is the circular driveway. You have plenty of parking available, and then the herringbone pattern continues right here where our walkway is. Now, look at the lush landscaping, great curb appeal as you can see, and then of course you have the iron fence. But as we continue right here, look at the arch openings and just some of the accents on the property. Fantastic. And really, I'm super impressed and I'm excited to bring this one to you. Now, as we continue right here, I'll pan you upwards so you can see the height. Look at that. So you will notice the wood soffit. You have a transom window and some additional upper windows, bringing in a ton of natural light. Now, you do have this extension for your covered front porch. So if you go ahead and add some chairs right here, this would be your incredible view. Now, as I pan you around over here, you have the double front door with the glass panes, as you can see. And then let's go ahead and get you inside this beautiful property. All right, so as soon as you walk in, first thing you see is the two-tier chandelier. Now you will notice the double height ceiling. You have the clear story window again straight ahead, bringing in a ton of natural light. And then as always, I'll turn you around right here so you can see the front door from the inside. Now again, once you walk in, you see the herringbone pattern continuing in here. You have oak floors. I'll open up this door right over here. So you have a coat closet immediately whenever you walk in. And then right over here to the left is your powder bath. So you are going to notice some natural stone materials throughout the countertops, especially inside of the primary suite and then going into your powder bath. So as I open this up, you will notice the sleek architectural lines, especially in your cabinetry and then your sconces right there. So generously spaced, and then of course, this perfect location for your decor and then the natural countertops. Now, since we are on this wing, I'll show you the primary suite, but straight ahead, you will have your picture window overlooking your backyard oasis. We'll see that in just a second. Now, heading inside of your primary suite, you have a quick access door leading you to your covered backyard patio, and then look at the space that you get. Gorgeous. So you have the double tray ceilings right here. And then of course you have some accented ceilings with the exposed beams. Straight ahead, you're going to have your king size bed, your two nightstands, your dresser over here, a sitting area, and look at the space that you still have. Now, what's fascinating about the property is you notice you have the dual entry primary bath, something you don't see every day. And I think you may like that. Now, as we head inside of here, you will have this pocket door separating the two. Then again, your natural stone countertops. You have a designated cosmetic area right here. You already got your mirror straight ahead. And then of course, your sconces. But look at the size of this. Beautiful. So you have your dual sinks. You notice that arch ceiling right here. We've been seeing that common theme throughout. And then again, like I said, this is a Spanish style home. There's a lot of intention behind all the materials and the design of this layout. And it is for sale as we speak for $2.4 million. Okay, so now heading into our first closet, look at the space that you have. You already have your built-ins ready to go. And then of course your chrome rods. And then if that's not enough, look at this. You got your built-in drawers, and then it even continues over here. So generously spaced, a ton of room for your wardrobe. And don't worry, this is not the only closet. But even if it was, I'm very impressed with the size. And then we'll go ahead and open up some of these for you. Now, this one's been a model home for a few years. At this point, they finally decided to sell it off. So whoever ends up getting this is going to be one lucky buyer. Okay, so now you have your oversized freestanding soaker tub right here. Then look at this, family. You have your dual entry walk-in shower, rain shower head right above there. Your picture window, perfect location too. You still have your privacy, but then you get to still enjoy the natural light. And then you have your shower bench and your shower niche. Right over here to the right is your water closet. And then this one is zero threshold. And you know, I got a comment about that. Gosh, I think it was yesterday or the day before. They were talking about, you know, the hype behind zero threshold, you know, the spillage and having to worry about that. But the way it is designed, you don't have to worry about that. And then you can even see the slope right down there. And then of course, the location of the shower heads. I love that. And then you have your second water closet. You know, that's been at least becoming more and more common as we have the good fortune of touring these luxury homes. We're starting to see that, and I'm a fan of that. Now, heading over here, your second closet. So if the first one wasn't enough, you have some additional space over here. So perfect for the his and hers closet. And you even still have your built-in drawers. All right, so let's go ahead and do one more full pan and then we'll continue. Gorgeous. All right, so now we'll head through the other entryway. And then again, the way the home is positioned, all of the windows flooding the entire house to take advantage of the incredible views. Okay, so the oak floors continues this way. Now we'll start heading this way over here. Before we continue, let's do a full pan and then we'll talk about the materials. Impressive. Okay, so right over here to the right, look at the floating shelves, the herringbone pattern backsplash right there. You got quartz countertops, that sage green right over here. Look at the way that complements the counters and the backsplash. Now, right over here to the right, you see the glass panes heading you in to your temperature controlled wine room. You even have some counter space right here. Look at the ceiling right there. You see the brick ceiling. You don't see that quite often. So I really love when some of these builders push the boundaries and show you what is possible and just the uniqueness of the home itself. Now heading over here, you got your formal dining area. But what's fascinating about this, not only do you have the sconces and the accent wall and the picture windows taking advantage of the backyard view, but look how open and spacious it is. So I talk about that quite often, everyone having an all-inclusive conversation, and you don't have to worry about that over here. Now I'll do one more pan on this side, and then we'll make our way to the kitchen. Gorgeous. Now heading over here again, that Spanish style is imperative. Like I said in the beginning of the video, you'll notice that from the outside as well as the inside. So the backsplash right there, very commonplace in a lot of Spanish style homes or Mediterranean. So I really love the way it complements the oak floors. Now, look at the oversized island right over here. Now, if you wanted to paint this, right, because of course, this is that Spanish style home, but if you wanted to go ahead and paint that more of a neutral color, that is certainly a conversation we can have. Now, right over here, you have plenty of cabinetry. You see the cream color, then the quartz countertops. Then right over here, you have your JennAir range. You do have that pot filler, right? And then you see it's more of that traditional style. So keeping current with the architecture in here. Now, if that's not enough, as a panty right over here, you have your JennAir dishwasher, of course. And then I'll open up some of these drawers so you can see how much storage you have. So plenty of space, the two-tone cabinetry. I'll open up some of these cabinet doors over here and look at the abundance of storage that you have. Now you have that gorgeous standalone vent hood as well, complementing the cabinets, some additional counter space over there. And then as always, you know, we have to open up the refrigerator. There you go. So brand spanking new. And then Look at this, your spice drawer. Love how large that is. Beautiful. So we'll continue straight ahead in just a second, but I really want to show you this feature. So you might be thinking the pantry is around the corner or over there. No, look at this. I love the way how seamless that looks and blends in quite well. Now you have a ton of storage shelving, as you can see. You got your built-in microwave and then some additional storage right over here. Very impressive. In fact, that was probably the sleekest walk-in pantry that I've seen. You know, the way they took advantage of that seamless look. Look at this. If you were just flying by this one, you would miss that 10 out of 10 times, right? Then you have some additional stack cabinets on top, but let's go ahead and continue this way and then we'll make our way to the great room. So now you got your mud room right in here. You see you got your hooks already ready to go, that shiplap. You got your built-in shelving over there. You see an additional quick access door. We'll see that in just a moment. I want to take you to your garage. So now looking in here, you already have epoxy flooring. Then you see you have some additional space. That'll be right underneath your staircase. We'll see that in just a second. So it is, depending on what stage you are in your life, right? It's going to determine if you're going to use the upstairs, because upstairs you have the 2 additional bedrooms and then a loft. But the home is designed with the intention to be utilized, you know, the first level and you are good to go. The additional bedrooms would just be bonus. Now, continuing right over here, you see you got your tankless water heater, some additional storage available on that side. So depending on how much time you do spend in the garage, it's going to determine how you best utilize it. Okay, so now as we continue, let's go straight ahead right here to our laundry room. Beautiful. So you see the hexagon pattern tiling right here. That matches the backsplash that we had seen over there. You got a recessed area right over here, perfect for your secondary refrigerator. Plenty of space for an oversized washer and dryer. You got wall-to-wall cabinets. You see your cabinet crowns on top. Right over here, you have an additional storage closet. If you wanted to add the rods and go ahead and hang some clothes, you can do that as well. And then over here, look at that. You got your built-in sink and then the backsplash, that Spanish style backsplash. And since we are on this wing, I'll just go ahead and show you out here. So again, like I said, you have a ton of parking available. You have some additional spots right there. So if you have guests over 5, 6, 7 cars for an event, you don't have to worry about parking. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and continue to the great room. Now heading straight over here, look at this. So again, you got the vaulted ceilings with the exposed beams. You got your sliders leading you to your covered backyard patio. Again, like I talk about quite often, you open those up, have that indoor, outdoor living. Gorgeous. So now you see the sleek fireplace, the fireplace around, but then you will notice the architecture leading all the way to the ceiling. So a unique style that you don't see quite often. And that's what I think you may appreciate. Now, as we continue straight over here, look at this. Perfect for entertaining. As you can see, again, the exposed beams, the vaulted ceilings, you see straight ahead, you have your picture window. So we've noticed the theme with the picture windows throughout to take advantage of the sunlight. But look at the space that you get in here. Now, right over here, that's not a built-in. You see that you have some decor right there, but however you want to design that, you can certainly do that. Now, if some of the family or folks are in the backyard, right, they're just having a great time in the backyard, well, instead of them having to go to the great room to enter inside of the game room or this bonus room, they can go ahead and use that quick access door right here. Look at that, and I'll give you a quick sneak peek of what we're going to see a little bit later on. Now again, the property is situated on an acre and in a gated community. So love that. if you worry about safety or anything like that, you don't have to worry about this. Now, as we continue right over here, perfect wet bar. You see you have an additional bar area right over here, but if you are entertaining, you go ahead and, have whatever your preferred drink is, right? Scotch, wine, anything, Bombay, whatever it is, you can go ahead and entertain. And then of course you got your beverage fridge right down here. Lovely. Now, what's also great about this is you see that you have your bath right over here. But if your guests are outside, they don't even need to come through that door that we just seen right now in the game room. They just head to that room or, this door right here and then use the restroom and go about their day. Beautiful. So far, please let me know your thoughts in the comments. I always go through those. I love to make adjustments as we start to tour, more and more beautiful homes. And I really just value your feedback and your input. Okay, so now we've seen this entire level of the property, except for right over here, this guest bedroom. So like I mentioned, 2 downstairs and 2 up. This is gonna be your next bedroom. So you see the double tray ceilings. You do have your 2 egress windows right here. But look at that. That's a king size bed. You got your 2 nightstands right over here. You see your recessed area. Perfect for the sitting area. And then I'll stand on this angle and show you the full scope of the room. Beautiful. So if that's not enough for you, you do have your own ensuite. You will notice the tiling in here, complementing that backsplash that we had seen as well. Then you got your full walk-in closet right on this side. And then as I pan you around, you see your quartz, your cabinets, and then your pendant light. And then if that's not enough, you head straight over here to your walk-in shower. You got your shower bench, 0 threshold, the same tiling extends in here. You got your oversized shower niche, matte black shower head, and then your toilet right behind me. And then again, you see that arch window right there. So that was certainly apparent whenever we were on the exterior of the property or the front facing exterior. Gorgeous. Now we'll head upstairs right now so you can see the loft and the 2 additional bedrooms, and then we'll make our way back. So now as we continue up here, look at that. So again, a picture window with the arch, got your chandelier hanging down, generously spaced. Okay, so now heading up here, you see the oak forest continues this way, but I think you may appreciate no carpet up here. So now you got your storage closet on this side. Let's see how spacious this bedroom is. Love it. So you got the vaulted ceilings, that exposed beam right there, blending in seamlessly. And then you're gonna have your own ensuite. So for the square footage in here, really impressed with the utilization of that. Of course, I value your feedback, so let me know in the comments. Now you are gonna have your walk-in shower. You got the shower niche and the shower bench. I talked about that a couple days ago, how a lot of the secondary bedrooms and even some of the primary suites don't even get the shower bench. So with them adding that in here, I know you can appreciate that too. And then you're gonna have the bathroom closet combination. Gorgeous. And then there's quartzite countertops in there. Now, right over here to the right is your attic storage. So if you wanted to store anything up here, you can do that. You don't have to worry about going up the stairs or the ladder. And you are good to go. Okay, so now here we are in our loft. Look at the picture windows right over here. Still spacious, more of a cozy, intimate feel up here. And then you still have that incredible view. Love it. And then now you got an additional storage closet. So let me know how you would stage this personally. And then this will be your 4th and final bedroom. Beautiful. So look at that impressive arch picture window straight ahead. You got your tray ceilings in here, so it creates more of that roomier feel. And then look at the size of it. So you can easily add that king bedroom set without any challenges, and then still have some additional space to work with. Okay. And then now heading to our ensuite. So you notice the different materials throughout and the way they staged each bedroom, or at least utilize some of the materials. So, just kind of keeping it fresh and then really just changing it up. Of course, this was a model home for some years, so they wanted to showcase their skills. And then again, you got your shower bench and shower niche. Love that. So again, you see exactly why I said that you could use the first level only depending on the size of your family, the stage of your life, and you wouldn't even have to worry about it. But, and of course, if you had your grandkids coming over or your kiddos, then that's going to determine how you best utilize this upstairs. Okay, so now we've seen the first level, we've seen the second level. I know you've been waiting for it. So have I. Let's take a look at the backyard oasis. So that door is locked. We'll go ahead and go through this quick access door on this side so you can see. So if your guests are hanging out right over here, right? This is exactly how you would get out here. Now, looking right over here, look at the wood soffit that we had seen on the covered front porch. But then look at the fireplace. You got the stucco mantle right here. You even have a bench area to take advantage of. And then as I pan you around right over here, look at your built-in grill. You got your sink, beverage fridge. You have a high bar area right over there too, as you can see. And this will be the perfect spot for you. You got your floating shelving right here with some decor, but very impressed. And again, with it being on an acre, this is absolutely amazing. And then of course the mature trees surrounding the entire property. So you still have that privacy element to it. And then if that's not enough, you got your pool and spa. Perfect to lounge out here, have some fun in the sun, get a nice little tan if you wanted to. And then again, remember that the primary suite had that quick access door. So you had your own private patio right here. So then you got the wood ceiling fan, the wood soffit out here, and then the beautiful tile out here. And then look at the space that you still have. So the possibilities are endless depending on what you want to do back here. And depending on, like I said, what stage of life you are in is going to determine how you use the rest of this space. But I love how tranquil it feels and just absolutely incredible. Okay, so if you stuck through the end of the video, I truly do appreciate you. What I want to do now is I'm going to show you the study. Okay, it was being utilized right now, but I'll go ahead and show you the study real quick so that way you can see it for yourself. Trust me, I don't miss anything if it's possible. Now, sometimes they may be doing certain things, but I want to get you inside of there. And then again, so while we're doing that, please let me know your thoughts if you haven't done so. If you have done so, I truly appreciate you. But then, of course, you have that glass pane in there. And then overall, just an incredible layout, incredible view, something you don't see every day. This is the first time we've seen this particular style on this channel, at least from this standpoint in Boerne. So I think you may, of course, appreciate that. All right, family, so I'm going to go ahead and show you the study as promised. So now look at the space that you get. Again, you see that picture window straight ahead with the arches. But look at this. So you have the exposed beams, the wood ceiling fan right here. I just love the space that you have. And of course, they operate this one as a model home. So you will notice, some blueprints and things like that. But I really just wanted to show you this for itself. And look at that. We even have some snacks up here. Love that. And that was the study. But other than that, family, that was another beautiful luxury home tour. All right, Rankin family, that was it for this beautiful luxury model home right here in Boerne, Texas. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this particular property. Is this something you could see yourself living in? Would you make any changes? If so, let me know in the comments below. Of course, if you want more information about this home or any home we showcase, reach out to the information in the description. Consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss a tour every single week. And I'll see you folks on the next property tour.